Share some poetry.
The significance of poetry. Poetry is as necessary to life as salt is to stew, as garlic is to pasta, as perfume is to summer nights, as shaving lotion is to mornings, as your smile is to my happiness. Poetry is as significant to life as yeast is to bread, as butter is to toast, as grapes are to wine, as sugar is to lemons. How else will we get lemonade? Poetry is to me your voice, your touch, your laughter, that feeling at the end of the day that I am not alone. I like that. I like that a lot.
Can you read spices?
Oh, I love spices. I used to watch my mother cook. She would invariably sigh that little sigh, then light a cigarette. Since no one smokes anymore, beans have not tasted as good. I have her sigh and stack of spices. This one is cardamom. It comes from Southeast Asia. This one is nutmeg. The defense of this spice by a Brit was so fierce, the World Court heard the case and the Dutch gave up Manhattan Island for that little island in the Indian Ocean that grew nutmegs and cloves. Stick them in an orange for a Christmas present or a ham to make a design. Cooking with Mommy was geography. These pansies you can eat. These mushrooms will kill you. Should we put them in your father's egg, she'd laugh and say. The green things, rosemary, thyme, tarragon, cilantro. The fennel we grew brought mean yellow jackets, so we get that at Kroger's. The trick to a great ham is a song, she would say, and we would sing loud and lustily, she harmonizing with me, but me unable to carry a straight melody. Now it's ready. Cold water almost to the top, fennel, allspice, pepper pods of all colors, no salt, it's a rule. Green spices till it looks right, then cinnamon on the uncovered top. Low heat until boiling, about 2 hours. Let cool 15 minutes. Pour the water off, then let cool on your platter. I make my ham the way my mother made hers, with lots of talk and love and laughter.
Nikki Giovanni, reading Spices, one of her poems in Chasing Utopia, a hybrid of prose and poetry.
And a lot of recipes, as you could see.
Yeah,
It's
food,
a lot of cooking.
poetry, joy.
Yeah.
So when do you write poetry? When do you write prose?
I think that essentially the story makes a decision. For Chasing Utopia, which is the lead here, could never have been a poem because it's a whole process of why I decided that I wanted to drink the #1 beer in the world. And I mean, I'd have to end up writing, Paradise Lost or something. It would just go on forever if I was trying to do that as a poem, and I don't think I have that ability because I'm a storyteller, and the way I tell stories is through that voice. And so this, I dealt with through just a story. This is how I got to it. We lost Mommy, and I just wanted to, but we didn't lose Mommy. Mommy died, and I wanted to celebrate. You don't forget the death of your mother. I mean, that's just not going to happen. But at some point, you do have to sort of say, now, are you embarrassing your mother by continuing to stay in this place? I think that Americans need to, I think we as a nation need to recognize and respect mourning more, because it's not something to get over. Death and illness and things are not things you get over. But you do have to say, okay, I have cried this last year. I need to try to recreate. Life becomes different. I have to recreate myself.
How did you start writing poetry?
I just think, basically, I laugh about it, but my sister was a very friendly person. She had friends, and I'm just not friendly, and I didn't have a lot of people around me. I don't have a lot of people that I talk to. And so I think I just started writing. I used to draw, but I was not as good at drawing, obviously, as I am at writing, and I like words. But I've spent a lot of time alone. And I lived with my grandparents for several years, and Grandpapa was 20 years older than Grandmother. So Grandpapa really didn't have a lot of patience with the grandchildren. I mean, he was a very nice man, and I don't know a nicer human being, actually, than my grandfather. But all of the other grandchildren sort of paired off. My cousins went off and climbed trees or whatever it is boys do, and my sister was talented also, and so she was not only friendly, but she had piano lessons, she had dance lessons, and that just left Nikki, And so Grandpapa would talk to me, and we would read together. He was a Latin scholar, so he taught me the Greek and Latin gods, and You know, we had all of the mythology. You know, I think the grandpapa felt sorry for me, so I learned to function in my own space, and I'm still pretty comfortable with that.
As we wrap up, Nikki Giovanni, this is the weekend that Nelson Mandela was laid to rest in his home village, Kunu. Any thoughts on this world leader?
Well, you know, Mandela was a great man. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, as is Winnie Mandela, and she is our sorority sister. So when this transition did occur, my thought immediately went out to my sorority sister, because I think that of all of the things that Nelson Mandela gave up, and I think he gave up quite a bit to help South Africa, the main thing that we ignore that he gave up was Winnie. And we have to recognize that Winnie Mandela carried on all of those years. And then when he came out, there was going to have to be a compromise. This is the politics of it. We know that. There's no way that Winnie, having run the ANC while he was in jail, there's no way she can be First Lady of South Africa. And so that had to be one of the most difficult decisions. I do not know Mr. Mandela. I did not know him. But that had to be one of the most difficult decisions to make, that the woman who had stood with you, you now have to put aside.
Well, Nikki Giovanni, I want to thank you so much for being with us. Nikki Giovanni's latest book is called Chasing Utopia, a Hybrid. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report.